What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian coming at you today from Brian's Custom Auto. What I'm doing today isn't necessarily custom. It's a short fix, but it's something I feel like I need to tell you guys about because it happens on mainly Dodges, like the 99 and newer Dodges. This is a good one. Okay, now here we have a 2015 Ram 2500, the TRX4 off-road. Guys, this truck is longer than a bad night in jail, okay? Like, that truck is long and it's tall. So, the rough country lift kit on it, is that what makes it handle so bad? No. How about the 38-inch tires on it? Is that what makes it handle so bad? No. I'll show you guys under the front of this truck is perfect. Okay, so I back this camera out a little bit so I can show you. Ouch. So we do have a lift kit on this truck, okay? It is a four-wheel drive, all that jazz, right? Now, although it could use a little grease, it's not bad. Top and bottom ball joint could use a little grease, but they pass all the wear tests. You jack this truck up in the air, the most minute amount of movement that you're supposed to have, right? Let's go on over to this side. Oh, wait. What about the track bar and the drag link? Well, guess what? All that has been replaced. Okay? All this is good. Let's go over here to this side. Okay? Let's zoom in there a little bit. Huh. Awful dry up down there. And that top one? Oh, that top one's beautiful. It's got a grease fitting on it. We're gonna put some grease in it just to make sure. So everything's good. Track bar's good. Track bar's got the right amount of turn and tilt in it, right? So, get to the pitman arm here. Guess what? It's good. So then you're like, okay, well maybe it's the rod going into the box here. Everything is tight, guys. Everything is perfect and tight. I showed y'all that because there's something else I want to show you. Now, I'm not going to mention this company's name by any means, but they're local in the Tri-Cities. My buddy, when he got this truck, he felt the steering, thought maybe it was something in the front end and all that, so he takes it to this shop, okay? Not me. He takes it to this other shop because I was busy at the time. Now, I showed y'all that first. Nothing under that front end has been touched, okay? This shop takes these pictures. They say they're the pictures of this. Now, you got the outer pictures of the truck. Anything that can show the tires, suspension, that kind of stuff. But I want to show you this. I just showed y'all the tie rods, ball joints, and all that. Did you guys see that one? Because I didn't. You know why? Because that's not on this truck. Did you guys see that one? I didn't. You know why? Because that's not on this truck. That's not this truck. There's a real big problem I have. But, they told him that if they fix these problems and rebuild this whole front suspension in this truck, that would take care of the issue. That would take care of all his problems. And that would take care of all the steering, right? But it wouldn't. They quoted him $3,800. $3,800. I got the book right here. I'm looking through all the stuff that these people claimed, okay? They literally went through and put, here's one for you. Little road grime right there. See the red? Now, if you look up there, that's the brake caliper. Okay, that little bit of road grime that's on typical vehicles, oh, it's a fluid leak. We got to fix that. Battery, that extra wire right there, which we know what the wire is, oh, the battery needs to be replaced. See the rust on the rear diff or front diff? They're calling that a leak. You guys are seeing this. Rear diff fluid. That's what they're saying is rear diff fluid. That is dry as a bone. Guys, this is why I told him just to bring it to me when, you know, just write it out as best you can. Like I said, I'm not going to mention this company's name, okay? but I'm going to show you what the fix was. In the world of automotive, you have to look for things that are not common, okay? Especially when it comes to stuff like this, okay? This issue that I found that's wrong with the truck, and we'll go test drive the truck here in just a minute once I get the last piece on. But when you run into problems like this and you don't know, and you're just taking pictures or taking like stock photos and putting them in there saying it's your vehicle, you know, they saw him as a 70-year-old man and said, we're going to just take him for a ride. That's what that boiled down to. I'll show you what the problem was. You'll like this. I've already got the things in, but I'm going to show you what it was. Here we are going under the dash. You see I got the light down there? All right. Oh. See that Loctite right there? Yeah, I put Loctite on it. All right, I'll zoom in as best I can. See that outer area that's been hammered? That's a shim. I'll show you what the shim looks like here in just a second. You can order them online. They're like 40 bucks for a set, okay? For a good set. You can get them on Amazon for like $8, but a good set is like 40 bucks, okay? I might have to do that top one too, but I don't know yet. I'll check it. Oh, wait a minute, you can't see it. Right. Yeah. Anyway, but that one right there is the problem. Well, that one. Hang on, I'll show you the other side. All right, now with the truck running, we will turn this. Hang on. There's the other side, see? Now, I was able to put that shim in there, slide it most of the way in by hand, because all that was just loose and open and fell out. Now this is the shims right here, okay? See how it's beveled on one side? So you take the beveled side and you'll put it in there. And I mean, it depends on how wore out it is. They say on these Dodges it happens around 100,000 miles, but you'll take that shim, you'll force it up in there with some red Loctite on it, and once it gets to where you can hold it, it'll stay there. Then you take your hammer and you drive it in the rest of the way, okay? Once you get it in there, now the next step is we have to take a clamp and put around it just to make sure they don't waller back out and fall back out. But that's what you do. You got to put it in there with a 9mm ratchet or a hammer, okay? Take a couple puffs of that, hit it with that, and screw it in with that, okay? Guys, that's all it is. 2 little shims, all right? I'm showing y'all this because that is not $3,800 worth of work. And now that steering is tight. There's no play in it at all. We're gonna take it down the road here in just a minute. Let me get the clamp on it and we'll see how good it does. And I'll take you guys along with me. But I wanted to show you guys that because, I mean, it's something I never realized was a thing. But apparently it's 2 different kind of metals on the steering shaft. And the universal in there is aluminum housing, and it's like tooled steel for the pin that goes through or whatever. Anyway, after 100,000 miles, this truck has 150, but after around 100,000 miles of constant driving and a lot of turning, farm work, stuff like that, it wears out, okay? And that's where you get your play at, okay? It's not a whole bunch of play, but it's a good bit. If your suspension is good under the front end and all that, and you still have the play, and I mean, if you're driving straight down the road, you hit a bump and the truck tries to turn and you pull it back, and then it goes the other way and you pull it back. Sorry, ant fell out of a tree on me. Chances are this is going to be your problem, okay? Just a little something I want to show you guys. Let me get my clamp on here and we'll take this truck for a test drive and I'll bring you back in like that. The worm clamp is on, even on both sides, covering up the bushing so it can't come out. I know it's hard to see that in there, guys, but just trust me, it's in there. Now, let's clean up all our tools, vapes, and all that stuff. Go put it up, and we'll take this thing for a test drive. All right, guys, all the tools are picked up. Sun done popped back out. God, it's hot. And getting the key out of my pocket. Let's go take this thing for a test drive, see how the steering does. Oh, she's a tall girl. Get this AC going too. I gotta move the seat. All right, so let's see how it does. I mean, I can go ahead and tell you it feels way tighter just backing it out of the driveway. Try this again without scam callers calling. Getting back down, you know. Guys, like I said, this truck is longer than a bad night in jail. So when you backing it out, which we have a backup camera in here that I put in for him. Oh. It is a 2500 and there ain't nothing in the back of it either. Oh, it's gonna be good. Wait on traffic here. Let's see how it does. We got good AC in this truck, guys, and everything. So far, so good. I mean, there ain't a straight road in Mexico here where I'm at, but, and obviously you got a little bit, God, but I mean, driving down the road like this and then it just straightens right back up. See that bump we just hit right there and these bridges and all that would have been pulling me that way or whatever. And this is absolutely perfect. And like I say, guys, with 38-inch tires on this truck, it does have a little bit of wobble, or not wobble, but a little bit of roam to it. But I mean, this is perfect. Look at that. I see a big truck coming, I'm gonna pull out in front of it. Yep. Oh yeah, this is perfect, guys. This feels like a brand new truck, actually. Pay attention so I can get over here. Yeah, see? Much gooder. So there you have it. That's the answer. So there you have it, guys. That took all that slop right out of the steering. Easy fix. Oh, here's something else I wanted to mention. This truck had a pedal commander on it, right? And it had the transmission feeling like it was shifting, not on time, not right, you know. And the pedal commander, although it did make a difference, it felt like it had more power. It really did not have any more power. Okay, all it was doing was making the butterflies on the throttle body open faster, and it also had this truck where it was idling close to 1,000 RPM. Anyway, he likes stock, so, and I was considering using the pedal commander on the Trailblazer SS, see if it would work, you know, just for the drag racing purpose of it. Well, the answer to that is no, because they are vehicle specific, for one. But for two, it doesn't change anything in the transmission. It makes the throttle blades open faster, which causes the transmission to kind of want to shift funny. So there's nothing, I mean, I have nothing against pedal commander. A lot of people like them. Me personally, I don't think it's good for these kind of applications. Now, if you know something about pedal commander that I don't, please leave it in the comments below, because this is all newer stuff that I don't typically work on. So I don't know if maybe there was something about it I just didn't have right. It was the Bluetooth one, but yeah, it was for a Dodge and it was the PC31, so it wouldn't work on the Trailblazer anyway, which sucks, but hey, it is what it is. Anyway, so that fixed the truck. We took the pedal commander out. Truck's shifting great. I drove to North Carolina back this morning. The shims fixed the steering. Saved man, like I say, $3,200. So it saved him $3,000. Or no, it was $3,200 or $3,800. It was some god awful amount, but anyway. And yeah, so I'm gonna go in the store here, get me a drink, get this back to the shop, and I'll call him in just a minute and see what he wants to do, if he wants to come get it or whatever. And that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I just wanted to show y'all that because I don't want people getting taken by shops. Okay, $3,030-something for a front end rebuild, and that problem would have still been there. That's not the absolute concrete proper fix, but it's a very good fix. The concrete proper fix would be to replace that whole end joint. We're not doing that. Not unless we didn't have a choice. The shims fit, it worked perfect. Guys, the truck is back together. Perfect. So I hope that helps somebody. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think, guys. And we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.